the movie Sinners. When Sinners came out, it was a movie by Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
Set in 1930s America in the South. And Stevie had a review, and so I was curious because a lot of people had a negative impression of him. And it kind of plays into the image I have of Stevie.
I didn't know how woke the shit was until after I read about all the double meanings and shit, dog. But once I realized what the fuck the movie was about, it's just like a woke propaganda piece. Because it's
what was woke about it?
Because the meaning behind the movie is the vampires are irrelevant. The vampire is the metaphor for white people appropriating black culture. The black people are in the juke joint having a black time. It's black owned. We having a good time. This is our shit. And then they playing the music, which attracts the vampires, which is also the white people. And they want to get in and get down with the black folks, but the black folks don't let them. So then the vampire.
Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I never watched the movie until I saw this review, and then I played the first 2 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna watch the movie so I know what's this about. I watched it and I was super confused by this review by Stevie. To categorize this movie as woke, as like white people trying to appropriate black spaces, it was so fucking stupid because it has nothing to do with that. They made the vampire, who's the antagonist, Irish, and I think that flew over a lot of people's head because maybe some people don't know Irish history. But it's actually kind of telling because even in the U.S., Irish people were very heavily discriminated against.
Yes.
But back in Europe, they were the proverbial punching bag for the royalty.
Yep.
They got fucked over throughout history.
Yep.
That's just a reality. And if you pay attention, at one point, they start doing Irish music. They start doing Irish dances because that was the kind of stuff that helped them get through tough times. And it's a parallel between the black music and how even in the beginning of the movie, if you paid attention to the plot, in the first 30 minutes, they're explaining what blues comes from. That's why when they talk about those very difficult stories from that slavery era, blues is what came from that and that pain. But all Stevie does is see race, and he didn't even see it during the movie. This is how fucking dumb he is. He saw someone else post something on Twitter. He's like, that's what it is, after the movie, which is very, very weird way to retroactively understand the film. I watched the film, and if it was woke, I'm telling you right now, I would have fucking hated it. The movie wasn't hyper-focused, even though it's in that area about race. It was more so about how music helps us overcome difficult things. And the vampire wanted the musician because he wanted to be able to create a utopia where everyone would have good music to ease the suffering that they had when they were living. That's what the plot was about. But there's a couple other themes, but that's the focus. So him calling it a woke movie is like, sometimes people have political brain and they go into a piece of entertainment and they just start putting their fucking political bullshit on everything. That doesn't say that there aren't movies with propaganda pieces in it, but this movie wasn't it. It's not even his own thoughts. He read someone else's thoughts and then put that shit on the film.
There's a lot of movies that have, like, you could say liberal agendas, propaganda, and a storyline. A message is not propaganda. Propaganda is being very deceptive. You're not telling the truth. Trying to say a message without telling the truth. Get Out is one of them that had a message in it. District 9 had another message that you could qualify as woke, where it's a bunch of different classes it was trying to mimic what happens with apartheid, but with robots, right? E.T. The movie E.T. was about being an alien and missing home, being an immigrant and missing home. E.T. phone home. There is a message like that. That's like most movies you watch. There's a message. Yeah. The X-Men was off of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
I mean, even when you take it at its face value, it's a lot about discrimination, about the fact that mutants are discriminated for their abilities and the fear that they have because they're different.
They eventually get in and they take over. So it's like the white people taking over black spaces, right? That's why they try to emphasize how important music is, specifically to black people.
Did you like that scene, at least how they meshed all the musics together and stuff?
No, because I was already off at that point, bro. I was already pissed at that point.
I just want to say, just for a quick second, the cinematography in the film was mid, but that scene was one of the best scenes I've ever seen.
Which one?
The scene where they're doing the music in the juke joint and it's a one shot and it's moving, and you're seeing what music and dance was like before 1934. They went back to Africa with the African traditional dances.
And
they went to the future. It was a really beautifully shot scene, objectively. Like that was just one of the best pieces of cinematography. And him just being like, the shit's just woke. I hated it. It's like really nice one shot.
It's a black movie and then they put some Asian people in it. It's like too much people together and having fun, and that's just too.
But even the Asian people, the reason why there was Chinese people in the film was even back in 1930s and the early 1900s. there were Chinese people that lived in the South and ran a lot of the markets. Like Ryan Coogler, I think almost a little bit too much, made a really concerted effort to try to replicate the era as best as possible and the realities of it. So it wasn't like, oh, I want to do diversity for that. No. Back then, there were Chinese people who ran a lot of the supermarkets, and it's okay to highlight the history of different people.
Purporting this message behind it, bro. It's like about culture vulture, white appropriation, and how white people are just, vampires sucking black energy.
I watched a movie and I didn't once come out of there and be like, yeah, white people, they be like, I was just like, all right, that was a movie. That's cool. He did his thing.
Black folks is just like they're obsessed about race, but like that's all you saw when you've watched the film, not realizing there are historical realities of Irish, English, and black folks that are quite different. So it's essentially the lack of nuance. We're not a monolith, but you went to the most brain dead, anti-woke rhetoric right away.
But this dude is a stick.
Yeah.
He's one dimensional. There's no depth in it. He had to put the tension that there is.
Yeah.
You can't be talking with white people like, hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm good. Yourself? All right, Mr. Jones. That was not the reality of those times.
The pretty white girl involved with Michael B. Jordan be the lead cause of everything happening, right? It's because of her that the vampires got in the motherfucking the crib. The point of the movie is to demonize white people, right? So the white people coming in to take over. But bro, why would you have this big black fat girl be the representation of like the black savior woman? She was the one that knew the shit. She knew how to kill the vampires. She was the one to put everybody on game.
What's the problem with that? So there was not bigger black people? I feel like from what I know, from Yoruba, from Condomble, from Vodou, that lady that played that role fit the role.
First off, she wasn't fat. She's
No,
thick.
she's
That's
thick.
it.
That's
like
it.
you making it sound like this lady's morbidly obese. 1, 2. Like this is why people say you're a sellout. It's like, do you not open up your history books? The kinds of people who survived through slavery were people who were very capable of doing manual labor. A lot of these women, if you go look at old pictures, you'll see a lot of them. They were on the thicker side. They were on the bigger side. They had to because if you pick cotton on day or you're doing all these other kinds of things, you have to be sturdy.
And also
you looking at that and the casting is very intentional and shitting on it as if it's wrong or it's bad is crazy. What's more, the point of the movie isn't even that white people are evil, but you keep saying that and then judging the movie, which makes you fucking stupid. There's so many layers of it, but just listen to his language and like how dehumanizing it is when he refers to the black woman. Her acting performance was phenomenal.
Pristine.
I'm gonna defend the white girl, as you put her, the pretty white girl. You love to refer to her as that.
But that's not even that in the movie.
It's not that she was culturally down or that she's the reason the vampires got in. She was there because it shows that before 1967, when black people or interracial marriage was legalized, a lot of these communities had interactions with each other. If you listen closely to the movie, her mother raised the two main characters. So they had very close proximity. It was very common for white children to have like a nanny who was a black woman, and those kids would interact with each other. So there's a lot of intersection between these people. She had to give up her love interest for the main character to be with a white husband because interracial marriage was not allowed. But she still loved all people. That's why when she walked through the juke joint, she was welcomed. Even though she was not black, as you say, nobody had an issue with her. Even the fact that she was wearing silk, these are all intentions. But him just reducing it to like, white people are bad, black people are good, that's what the movie's about. It's like, he doesn't get it.
What would you have preferred? A white savior?
Yeah. There was also a thinner black woman who was a performer, and she was getting with the lead singer.
Yeah.
She was one of the characters. Very thin. He doesn't mention her existence at all, right? Because she was married to someone who was well off. That's why she was on the thinner side. I'm going to give you guys my own synopsis of the movie, but you got to listen to how he gives a summary of it because it's very telling.
I went to go see The Sinners last night. Trash. I mean, Michael B. Jordan's one of the main characters, but he plays himself twice because he plays a twin of himself, so it's two of him. And they like some prohibition gangsters back then. And they hit a lick in Chicago, come back, but back to their hometown or whatnot, buy a barn, and they turn the barn into a juke joint. And then like the first 30 minutes is just developing this plot where they going around recruiting who they need to run the juke joint for the grand opening that night, right? So they pick up a musician, they pick up a cook, they pick up a security guard, you know what I'm saying, highlight their little stories or whatnot. You see the main love interest, pretty white girl, and she's involved with one of the twins. And then, juke joints popping, right? And then vampires randomly pull up. They just randomly pull up. And really, that's pretty much it. The story is there's not much there at all, and there's so many gaping holes throughout just the literal script. And it took entirely too long for the motherfucker to develop for a horror story.
Synopsis is very wrong, and him saying there's no plot. I personally think the movie is about a 6 out of 10. I'm a pretty harsh movie critic. I liked that Ryan Coogler, in my opinion, improved a lot as a director, because when you watch that movie, it's substantially better than his previous work. And he took some liberties and some chances here, and there's some good ones. But him saying there's no plot is crazy. Him even describing the first 30 minutes as if it's just like getting people and that's it. Like, he missed everything that happened in the first 30 minutes and how it's incredibly important for the entire setup of the movie in terms of thematics and themes. So, dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about from off the top. And a good example of this is, you have the scenes in the beginning with the church and the musician, who's probably one of the most important pieces of the story. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing the conflict between his wanting to engage in music and his dad, who's a pastor, wanting him to come back to church and stay away from the devil's work, which is music. Then you also have the themes about African spiritualism when you have the love interest, who she starts talking about charms. And it's very lightly touched on. They don't do it very directly, but they're clearly hinting towards black folks' history back in Africa and how they kept some of those traditions. Even today, if you go to the south of the USA, you'll find some place where elements of voodoo and some of that spiritualism still exists.
Yeah.
So all these themes are incredibly important because they keep playing throughout the movie, but he just kind of just jumps right past it as if it's unimportant. And he's like, I want to see dope shit. I want to see vampires.
And you got to understand my perspective. I'm coming in this motherfucker looking for horror, looking for vampire, looking for dope shit.
And I think even him saying it's not like a horror, like when a movie's categorized, it's not always perfectly fitting in that. Sometimes there's a lot of comedic elements. A lot of movies are hybrids. So even going in with the expectation that it's going to be a clear-cut horror, like not every horror movie is it,
Yeah.
With the clown. Like a lot of them are thrillers, they're dramas, there's a lot more involved. So
I can understand that that movie was not the most hardcore horror movie that you can see out there. Mm-hmm. But because of the elements that's in there, unfortunately, it fits into horror.
Yeah.
You can't fit it into a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fit it into an action movie because there are elements of horror. You're going to have to put it in horror.
Yeah.
And because some people really don't want to see that gory stuff, so you have to put it in there, unfortunately. So even sometimes when you pitch ideas, and it's not you that decides where that movie's going to fall into. So
and they have to do that. Because
no,
for distribution, they have to put it in a category.
They have to do it. They have to put it in a category for words, or even just when they're going to play it, who they're going to play it to.
Yeah.
You're just here and writing your stuff,
yeah.
and you're not even thinking it's a PG-13 movies, but the people that you're going to project the film to, you're going to see like, oh yeah, we have to pitch the movie so that they're able to play it. They're looking at the movie, they're looking at the script, and because of certain elements that check the boxes, that's going to be PG-13 movie. You were not thinking about that. You were thinking about making a movie. You're not thinking about making a horror movie, but because of certain elements that are checked in, it falls into a horror movie that's pretty soft.
But that's why I think he often thinks in boxes. That's why he's like, I didn't say liar or manipulator. Yes. Right? Like, it's a horror movie. Like Stevie's, what he does is when he has a box, he puts something in that box and nothing else can go into it. Everything has its box. I don't mind that Stevie doesn't like the movie, but saying there's no plot is very stupid and just factually untrue. That's the issue. It's not a subjective take that the movie's bad. That's fine. His reasoning for why is actually fucking stupid.
That white girl didn't need to be white. It could have been another black girl that went out there and did the same shit. They made her white. What's the point of making her white?
Because there were white women and white men back in the days who didn't have issues with being in black spaces and had a lot of interactions with them.
It's just it's to add another dimension, something that you lack, Stevie.
Message is to demonize white people. What's the point of making her white?
Probably inclusion, but hey, man, watch how you say that white girl, because that white girl, she kind of bad. And then when she was a vampire, she was like, oh, well, you can steal from them, but you can't steal this pussy?
Yeah, bro.
I said, damn, bro, she with the shit.
You know what? I understand. Stevie's stupid because his friends are stupid too. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, you know what? It is kind of weird. Stevie's surrounded with some goofy ass people.
So bad.
You that white girl, you better watch how you talk about her. She said shit on this dick. And I'm like, but that big black bitch, no. But that white girl, she's kind of bad. You don't talk bad about my white girl. Shut your ass up, fucking goofy ass.
And Vampires Hill, bro. And when that part when he shot Buddy in the face, and Buddy's face didn't heal. I'm like, bro, you're a vampire. You're not a fucking zombie. Like, vampires' faces heal. Tedious, but like, I like vampires. You're gonna do vampires, you gotta do it right.
And he said you got to do it right. Again, he's one-dimensional because if you want to go tap in your nerd side, there are about 15 archetypes of vampires. Some are allergic to bullets, some are allergic to garlic, some are not, some fly, some don't, some morph. So depending on who are you calling, are you talking about Bram Stoker? Are you talking about the lady Rice? Who are you talking about?
True.
Which depiction of vampires throughout history and wherever in the world, everybody got vampire stories. You can, with the original stories from Transylvania, the original stories of vampires in West Africa, the original vampire stories from what they have in Native American in this land. Which one? There's like 15 of them, and then after that, you could pick and choose and change that.
Yeah.
So which you're like, yeah, I'm hardcore about vampires. You're one type of vampire. You like one type, and that's the original, and that's it. But if you really,
it's not even the original.
The vampires in Underworld, there's different. The vampires in Interview with the Vampires.
You saw Dust Till Dawn?
Yeah,
they were very similar to those ones.
Yes, exactly.
They weren't super strong. Like they weren't super powerful. They were killing very easily. A lot of the vampires, they were grabbing him and chucking him. But like, vampires are often, werewolves are also not depicted the same way all the time.
They prefer the word licking. But anyways,
my bad. My bad.
Just tapping in my nerd side.
You guys gotta see this comment section because they was ripping this dude apart. Wow. Yeah, I get it, Stevie. You hated the shootout because you hated seeing your masters die. Oh shit! I didn't know they was gonna go in on like that. Hey,
damn.
Oh. Yeah. I got the baby oil ready because we getting cooked.
No, you're not putting all that baby oil.
All right. No. I genuinely feel bad for you, even though you aren't smart enough to feel bad for yourself. That white baby mama in the car is definitely Stevie's handler.
Sinners was
ass.
I don't get it, bro. I mean, we get it. We get it. But
it was made for
a reason.
The movie was made for what, ma'am?
Fact that the only thing black people can say is the acting was good, the costumes were good, the set design was good, shows zero intelligence, the story was garbage.
Okay, just watch this. He's reading the comment.
White, blame your ancestors. Oh, see, it's a whole. See, now my whole.
Okay. You see how you didn't keep reading that comment? Go back 2 seconds. I'm going to read the last part of that sentence. It says, blame your ancestors for your current shit you are in. Black people never learned. This just proves other races see you as inferior. Now you know why. You see how you didn't read that the rest of that comment?
Yeah.
You see that? You see how you skipped over that shit?
Yeah.
He's about to show that comment some love, but watch how he ignores the racist part of it.
Such a silly people. Black Africans sold other Africans to white. Blame your ancestors. Oh, see, it's a whole. See, that was my whole point, bro. That was my whole point, dog.
The whole point or the whole comment was your point?
But do you see how you ignored the racist part of it?
Yes.
See what I'm saying? This is the thing that
But he's
that
not a monolith with that comment.
Yes.
He's not a monolith with that comment. He appreciates it, but
yeah,
not really.
But listen, I don't think we should keep going. I think we've kind of beat this with
we've been going for too long on that
dead horse. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stevie. But he talks a lot about how he used to be a lot more liberal and now he's a lot more conservative and he's woken up and he's seen the light. I think he just changed one box for another. I think he was ideologically captured before and now he's ideologically captured now. And that's why he sees everything through a woke lens or a lens someone else. Like he didn't even have the original thought that the movie was woke. He read someone else's interpretation and then he made his review.
Yeah.
But you can't picture me with this cowboy hat, boy. $200, one of the worst investments I ever made.